A recent study has raised concerns about erythritol, a sugar replacement commonly used to sweeten products such as stevia, monk fruit, and low-sugar keto items. The study suggests that erythritol may be associated with serious health risks, including blood clotting, strokes, heart attacks, and even mortality. Dr. Stanley Hazen, the lead author of the study and director of the Center for Cardiovascular Diagnostics and Prevention at the Cleveland Clinic Lerner Research Institute, emphasized the substantial nature of the risks identified. He stated,
"The degree of risk was not modest."
The research, published in the journal Nature Medicine on February 27, 2023, found that individuals with pre-existing risk factors for heart disease, such as diabetes, faced a doubled risk of experiencing heart attacks or strokes when they had elevated levels of erythritol in their bloodstream. Dr. Hazen explained,
If your blood level of erythritol was in the top 25% compared to the bottom 25%, there was about a twofold higher risk for heart attack and stroke. It's on par with the strongest of cardiac risk factors, like diabetes.
The study also included additional findings from laboratory and animal research. These findings suggested that erythritol might contribute to increased blood platelet aggregation, making blood clots more likely to form. These clots can dislodge and travel to vital organs such as the heart, potentially causing heart attacks, or to the brain, increasing the risk of strokes. Erythritol, a type of sugar alcohol akin to sorbitol and xylitol, occurs naturally in numerous fruits and vegetables. It possesses approximately 70% of the sweetness of sugar and is commonly regarded as a zero-calorie sweetener, as experts note. Produced artificially on a large scale, erythritol is recognized for its absence of lingering aftertaste, minimal impact on blood sugar levels, and a milder laxative effect compared to certain other sugar alcohols.
Erythritol looks like sugar, it tastes like sugar, and you can bake with it. It's become the sweetheart of the food industry, an extremely popular additive to keto and other low-carb products and foods marketed to people with diabetes. Some of the diabetes-labeled foods we looked at had more erythritol than any other eaten by weight.
Erythritol also serves as the predominant ingredient, both in terms of weight and quantity, in numerous natural stevia and monk fruit products, as noted by Hazen. Due to the high sweetness levels of stevia and monk fruit, which are approximately 200 to 400 times sweeter than sugar, only a minimal amount is required in product formulations. The bulk of these products consists of erythritol, responsible for providing the anticipated sugar-like crystalline appearance and texture that consumers seek. Hazen emphasized that the discovery of the connection between erythritol and cardiovascular issues was entirely unexpected. He stated,
"We never expected this. We weren't even looking for it."
Hazen's research had a straightforward objective: to identify previously unrecognized chemicals or compounds present in an individual's bloodstream that could serve as predictive indicators for the likelihood of experiencing a heart attack, stroke, or mortality within the subsequent 3 years. To achieve this goal, the research team initiated the examination of 1,157 blood samples from individuals deemed at risk for heart disease. These samples were collected during the period spanning from 2004 to 2011.
We found this substance that seemed to play a big role, but we didn't know what it was. Then we discovered it was erythritol, a sweetener.
Erythritol is naturally produced by the human body, but typically in such low quantities that it cannot account for the levels observed in this study, according to Hazen. To validate their findings, Hazen's team conducted additional tests on a separate set of blood samples. These samples were obtained from more than 2,100 individuals in the United States and an additional 833 samples collected by colleagues in Europe, spanning until 2018. Among the participants in all three populations, approximately 3/4 had either coronary disease or high blood pressure, and around a fifth had diabetes. The majority were male and in their 60s and 70s. Across all three populations, the researchers established a consistent link between higher erythritol levels and an elevated risk of experiencing a heart attack, stroke, or mortality within a 3-year period. However, the question remained, why does this connection exist? In pursuit of an answer, the researchers conducted additional experiments involving animals and laboratory tests. These investigations revealed that erythritol was causing an enhanced thrombosis effect, leading to increased blood clotting, as explained by Hazen. Blood clotting is an essential physiological function within the human body, preventing excessive bleeding from cuts and injuries. This vital process also operates continuously within the body's internal systems.
Our blood vessels are always under pressure and we spring leaks, and blood platelets are constantly plugging these holes all the time.
The size of the blood clot formed by platelets is contingent upon the magnitude of the stimulus that activates these cells. In simpler terms, if the stimulus is only 10% in magnitude, the resultant blood clot will be proportionately smaller, comprising only 10% of its potential size.
But what we're seeing with erythritol is the platelets become super responsive. A mere 10% stimulant produces 90% to 100% of a clot formation. For people who are at risk for clotting, heart attack and stroke, like people with existing cardiac disease or people with diabetes, I think that there's sufficient data here to say stay away from erythritol until more studies are done.
In a final part of the study, 8 healthy volunteers drank a beverage that contained 30 grams of erythritol, the amount many people in the U.S. consume, Hazen said, according to the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, which examines American nutrition each year. Blood tests over the next 3 days tracked erythritol levels and clotting risk.
30 grams was enough to make blood levels of erythritol go up 1,000-fold. It remained elevated above the threshold necessary to trigger and heighten clotting risk for the following 2 to 3 days.
And how much is 30 grams of erythritol? It's the same as eating a pint of keto ice cream, Hazen said.
If you look at nutrition labels on many keto ice creams, you'll see reducing sugar or sugar alcohol, which are terms for erythritol. You'll find a typical pint has somewhere between 26 and 45 grams in it. My co-author and I have been going to grocery stores and looking at labels. He found a confectionery marketed to people with diabetes that had about 75 grams of erythritol.
There is no firm accepted daily intake, or ADI, set by the European Food Safety Authority or the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which considers erythritol generally recognized as safe. Dr. Andrew Freeman stated,
"Science needs to take a deeper dive into erythritol, and in a hurry, because this substance is widely available right now. If it's harmful, we should know about it."
Hazen agreed.
I normally don't get up on a pedestal and sound the alarm, but this is something that I think we need to be looking at carefully.
Thanks for watching. What do you think about these findings? Now that you know about the dangers of erythritol, do you plan to consume less of it? Leave a comment below, give the video a thumbs up, and please share this with your friends. Help spread the word. You could end up saving someone's life.